5 exercises for a complete back workout based on science. Training your back properly is probably the biggest challenge in a gym. Even for those who have been training for years, getting an efficient stimulus in this region of the body can be extremely difficult. And if even experienced people make mistakes, imagine those who are just starting. What makes back training so challenging? It's the anatomical complexity of this region. There are several muscles with different functions and activation angles. This is where science comes in as our ally. Combining knowledge of physiology, kinesiology, and biomechanics, we can create a truly effective protocol. That's why today you'll see 5 exercises, already in the ideal order of execution, that will provide complete development for your back. A workout based on scientific evidence that will transform your results. But first, we need to briefly understand the 2 main mistakes that most people make in back workouts. Mistake 1. Not working with different grips and angles. One of the most common mistakes in back training is the lack of variation in grips and angles of exercises. The back is a complex muscular structure, composed of several muscles such as the latissimus dorsi, trapezius, rhomboids, spinal erectors, and teres major. Each of these muscles responds better to specific stimuli. When we limit our training to just 1 or 2 variations of exercises, we are neglecting important parts of this musculature. For example, the wide grip on the pull-down activates different areas of the latissimus dorsi compared to the close grip. The bent-over barbell row activates muscles differently than the unilateral row. The science of biomechanics shows us that each pulling angle recruits specific muscle fibers. Vertical pulls, like the pull-down, work more on the upper and lateral portions of the latissimus dorsi, while horizontal rows emphasize more the middle regions of the back, such as the rhomboids. Another crucial point is the rotation of the humerus during exercises. Internal or external rotation completely changes muscle recruitment. Therefore, varying between pronated, supinated, and neutral grips is fundamental for complete development. Mistake 2. Activating the arm more than the back itself. One of the biggest challenges in back training is precisely the difficulty many people have in developing body awareness for this region. Think about it. If I ask you to contract your biceps, you immediately bend your elbow and feel the contraction. If I ask you to contract your quadriceps, you extend your knee and feel the muscle in your thigh. But what if I ask you to contract your back? This difficulty in neuromuscular connection means that during back exercises, the arm muscles end up taking the lead. The biceps, forearms, and even the shoulders end up doing most of the work, while the back remains understimulated. What happens in practice is that many people simply pull the weights mainly using the strength of their arms, without being able to create this mental connection with the back. The result? Fatigued arms, understimulated back, and disappointing results. To overcome this problem, we need to develop specific strategies for each exercise, creating mental focus points that help transfer tension from the arms to the back. Techniques such as pulling with the elbows, or imagining that the arms are just hooks, can make all the difference in your training results. Now let's move on to the exercises. Warm-up exercise, cable pull-down. Before starting intense training, we need to properly prepare the back muscles. Warm-up is not just a formal stage of training. It's a physiological necessity that prepares your body for the heavier work that will follow. The cable pull-down is perfect for warming up because it recruits a large area of the dorsal musculature in a controlled manner. Use only 20 to 40% of the load you would normally use for this exercise. The goal here is not muscle fatigue, but rather to increase blood flow to the region, raise muscle temperature, and activate neuromuscular connections. During warm-up, focus especially on movement quality and mental connection with your back. Consciously feel the movement of the scapula, the retraction of the shoulders, and the activation of the latissimus dorsi. This is the ideal time to establish this mind-muscle connection that will be crucial in the following exercises. Perform just 2 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions with a controlled rhythm. Between sets, take a break of only 30 seconds. This volume is sufficient to prepare the muscles without causing premature fatigue. An important detail: during warm-up, try alternating between different grip widths to prepare the various portions of the latissimus dorsi that will be worked throughout the training. This helps wake up different areas of the back and improves activation capability when you get to exercises with heavier loads. Exercise number 1, front pull-down. The front pull-down is one of the most complete exercises for developing the latissimus dorsi and perfect to be done at the beginning of the workout. This exercise works the musculature exceptionally, from its maximum stretch to complete shortening, providing a high-quality stimulus. The correct execution begins with you sitting facing the machine, with knees fixed under the supports and the spine in a neutral position. Hold the bar with a grip slightly wider than shoulder width. When starting the movement, visualize that your elbows are pulling the bar down toward the sternum. This is a crucial point. Don't think about pulling with your hands, but rather making an elbow movement backward and downward. Imagine that your hands are just hooks gripping the bar. An important technical detail: before starting each repetition, perform a brief stretch for the chest. This may seem counterintuitive, but it has a solid scientific explanation. By slightly stretching the chest, you put the latissimus dorsi in a more effective pre-stretching position. Biomechanics teaches us that a muscle produces more force when starting from an optimal stretching position. Additionally, this chest stretch helps partially deactivate antagonist muscles, allowing the latissimus dorsi to work with less interference. During execution, keep the shoulders depressed and avoid the common mistake of elevating the shoulders, which would transfer tension to the trapezius. Among the most common errors is the use of momentum to move the load. This happens when the person leans back during the concentric phase and then projects forward in the eccentric phase. This swinging drastically reduces tension in the back and increases the risk of injuries. Keep the movement controlled, especially in the return phase. Perform 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions, with a 90 to 120 second rest between them. The execution speed should be moderate, especially emphasizing the eccentric phase. Exercise 2. Single-arm dumbbell row. The single-arm dumbbell row is an exceptional exercise to intensify the contraction of back muscles during training. Being a unilateral movement, it allows you to focus all your attention and effort on one side at a time, correcting possible muscle imbalances and developing a stronger neuromuscular connection with each side of the back. To execute correctly, position yourself next to a bench, placing one knee and the hand of the same side on it. The other leg should be extended laterally to provide balance. Hold the dumbbell with your free hand, keeping your arm completely extended at the beginning of the movement. Your spine should remain in a neutral position, parallel to the floor, neither excessively arched nor curved. Now comes the secret to maximizing back activation. Before starting the pull, imagine that you are pulling the dumbbell toward your hip, starting with a slight external rotation of the humerus. This movement pattern favors the engagement of back muscles from the beginning. As you pull the weight, concentrate on bringing the elbow to the line of the trunk or slightly above, keeping it close to the body. This trajectory allows a complete contraction of the back muscles, especially the latissimus dorsi and teres major, without diverting tension to the posterior deltoid or trapezius. At the point of maximum contraction, pause for 1 to 2 seconds, really feeling your back contract. This brief isometric pause enhances the muscle stimulus and helps develop the mind-muscle connection, essential for effective back training. One of the main mistakes in the dumbbell row is excessive trunk rotation. Many people rotate the body during the pull, which diverts tension from the back to the shoulder muscles. Keep your trunk stable throughout the movement, with shoulders parallel to the floor. Another common mistake is not completing the full range of motion. Many train without bringing the elbow far enough back, depriving themselves of the full benefit of the exercise. Remember, the elbow should slightly exceed the line of the trunk to ensure an effective contraction. A valuable tip to improve back activation is to keep the wrist in a neutral position during the pull. This position decreases biceps activation and increases recruitment of back muscles. Perform 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions for each side, alternating sides with each set to ensure adequate rest. The interval between sets should be 60 to 90 seconds. The execution speed should be controlled, with approximately 2 seconds in the concentric phase and 2 seconds in the eccentric phase, which is the return phase, always emphasizing muscle contraction throughout the movement. Exercise 3. Cable pull down with maximum load. Now that we've already performed 2 exercises that strategically prepared and pre-fatigued our back, it's time to return to the pull down, but this time with a completely different approach. We'll use the maximum load that you can move with proper technique for 6 to 8 repetitions. The peculiarity of this exercise in the proposed sequence is that, unlike the single-arm dumbbell row and front pull-down performed previously, the pull-down significantly reduces the participation of the biceps. To properly execute the cable pull-down, position yourself standing in front of the machine with feet shoulder-width apart to ensure stability. Keep your spine erect and core activated. Hold the handle with your arms extended in front of you. Before starting the movement, do a slight depression of the shoulders, pulling them down and away from the ears. This preliminary movement is crucial to deactivate the upper trapezius and correctly engage the latissimus dorsi from the beginning. To perform the movement, pull the cable down and slightly backward toward your body, keeping the elbows slightly flexed. The correct movement is similar to trying to bring your hands toward your thighs, not your hips. Keep your elbows pointing downward and slightly backward throughout the movement. At the point of maximum contraction, when your hands are close to your thighs, consciously intensify the activation of your back. During the return phase, actively resist the load, controlling the movement instead of simply letting the weight rise. A common technical error is using the arms excessively during the movement. Many practitioners end up transforming the exercise into a triceps extension, losing focus on the back. Remember that your arms should function only as hooks transmitting the force generated by the back. Perform 3 sets of 6 to 8 repetitions, with a 90 to 120 second rest between them. The intensity should be high, using a load that makes it challenging to complete the full range of motion in the last repetitions of each set. Exercise 4. Machine row with wide grip. The machine row with wide grip is an exceptional exercise to complement the work done in previous exercises. While previous movements focused more on the lateral and upper portions of the latissimus dorsi, the machine row with wide grip directs the stimulus to the central region of the back, intensely working the rhomboids, middle trapezius, and middle portions of the latissimus dorsi. To execute correctly, adjust the machine seat so that the handles are aligned with your chest and the elbow is in line with the shoulder when you are seated with an upright spine. Position yourself in the machine with your chest supported on the pad and hold the handles with arms extended. Your feet should be well supported and your posture should be firm and stable. Before starting the pulling movement, do a pre-activation of the scapulae, retracting them slightly toward the spine. This preliminary movement is fundamental to ensure that the back initiates the work, not the arms. From there, pull the handles toward your body, bringing the elbows backward as much as possible. Imagine that you're trying to touch your elbows to your back, which creates an extremely effective mental focus point to activate the back. A common mistake in the machine row is not using the full range of motion. Many practitioners don't completely extend their arms at the starting point, losing the benefit of muscle stretching, and don't bring the handles far enough back at the end point, reducing the effectiveness of the contraction. Another frequent problem is excessive elevation of the shoulders during the movement, which transfers tension to the upper trapezius and reduces the work of the middle portions of the back. Keep the shoulders depressed throughout the exercise. Perform 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, with a 60 to 90 second rest between them. The execution speed should be moderate in the pulling phase and slower in the eccentric phase, approximately 2 to 3 seconds, to maximize muscle tension and growth stimulus. Exercise 5. Lumbar hyperextension. The lumbar hyperextension is the perfect exercise to finish our complete back workout. This movement is often neglected, but it is absolutely essential, not only for the aesthetic development of the lower back, but mainly for the health of the spine and for functionality in daily life. The lumbar region, composed mainly of the erector spinae muscles, plays a fundamental role in stabilizing the pelvis and spine. In a society where we spend hours sitting, strengthening these muscles becomes even more important to prevent back pain and postural problems. To properly execute the lumbar hyperextension, position yourself on the specific bench, with hips supported on the pad and legs fixed in the supports. Your trunk should begin the movement tilted downward. The upper part of the thighs should be well supported on the main pad of the machine, and the ankles secured under the support rollers. For ideal positioning, adjust the machine so that the hip fold is aligned with the edge of the pad. Start the movement with the trunk hanging downward toward the floor, creating a slight flexion in the lumbar region. Then consciously contract the lumbar muscles and raise the trunk until your body forms a straight line, parallel to the floor. It is crucial not to exceed this alignment point, avoiding excessive hyperextension of the spine. During execution, keep the focus on contracting the lumbar muscles, not the glutes. Although the glutes inevitably participate in the movement, the goal is to prioritize the work of the erector spinae. For this, visualize that the force to raise the trunk comes specifically from the lumbar region. A common mistake in this exercise is the use of momentum to raise the trunk, which drastically reduces the effectiveness of the movement and increases the risk of injuries. Keep each repetition controlled and conscious, without sudden or too rapid movements. Another frequent mistake is excessive amplitude, raising the trunk far beyond the alignment line with the legs, creating an exaggerated hyperextension in the lumbar spine. As mentioned, the ideal final position is one where your body forms a straight line, not an upward arc. For progression of the exercise, you can hold a weight such as a plate against your chest. Start with light loads like 11 pounds and gradually increase as you develop strength and stability in the lumbar region. This additional overload intensifies the muscle stimulus and accelerates strength development in the region. An important technical detail is to keep the neck aligned with the rest of the spine throughout the movement, avoiding hyperextending the neck by looking forward. Keep your gaze directed toward the floor when you're at the lowest point and slightly forward when you reach the straight line position. Perform 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions, with a 90-second rest between them. If you're using additional weight, reduce to 10 to 12 repetitions. This exercise, besides completing the muscular development of the back, contributes significantly to the health of the spine, improving posture and reducing the risk of lumbar pain, especially for those who spend a lot of time sitting. By regularly working the lumbar region, you not only enhance the aesthetics of your back, creating a harmonious transition between the back and glutes, but also strengthen a fundamental muscle group for quality of life and for performance in other compound exercises, such as squats and deadlifts. If you liked this and also want to see a science-based workout for the chest, we've left a video where we show a very complete workout appearing right now on the screen. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.